And I'm here to talk about the Man United match. We can also probably touch upon some of the other results as well, but didn't get a chance to do the player ratings and um, a summary of the Man United match. Well, it's been that kind of a day. Well, where do we start? The result: Man United 2, Sunderland nil, and professional professional performance by Man United. I think is the summary at the moment. And yeah, let's start to unpack it. Amarim shows um, Amarim made some changes. Certainly, uh, I'd like to think bold changes, but no, I think he just made the basic standard changes from his frankly shit show against Brentford. Out goes Bandy, in comes Senna Lamens. It's been a while that we've been calling for it. I'm not going to debate why he's not put him earlier. I think he was just waiting for Bayern to make yet another um, um, disaster performance. So really, we risk. Amrin was happy to put 3 points on the line before he brings in Senna Lamens, and well, that duly happened. So in comes Lamens, and in comes Lenny Yoro. After some disagreement or whatever between Bruno and Yoro, Amrin came to the rescue of his captain, defended his captain over one of his most informed players in Euro. So he's been benched for Maguire, but as we also saw against Brentford, there's no way Maguire can really play in this formation, in this kind of a setup that Amrin has. So that completely backfired last week, and this week it's been rectified. Um, that also brought composure to Luke Shaw. So he maintained his place next to Delete as well, right? And on the flanks, as wing backs, Diego Dallo on the left and Amad Diallo. Now, Diallo on the right, you know, personally, I would have never got it, but that's the way that Amarin plays. And tell you what, it's not the worst. But Dallo as an inverted fullback on the left today was just a, not just today, overall has not wrong, but especially as an inverted fullback, absolute disaster. Before we go into player ratings, was easily the weakest and worst player in the venture today. Up in the midfield, um, Casemiro, solid performance once again. Bruno, improved performance. And up front, the two tens. Mason Mount came back in for Cunha. That's another change that Amri made. And Bremer retains his spot in Francesco. So that was the team. Later on, delayed changes, as always. Let's talk about that. Um, at the back in the change of custom change, you always have to think Bruno Maguire. I think Maguire may have something in his contract where he has to pay a minimum of X number of days or something. It must be. Um, today he didn't get too many minutes. Didn't have enough time to be a disaster. Maguire didn't, but nonetheless, um, he featured. I think he came on for Lenny kind of like 88, 18 minutes, something like that. Kobe Mainu, again, I think Amarin has to play him. And so he came on. Can't remember for who, maybe Mbuemo, but he came on, delivered a good performance the time that he was allowed. Um, a player who we do have to get on is Ugarte, coming on for Casemiro like for like. He's a player we absolutely need. It's not quite worked, but we need him because apart from Casemiro, he is the only genuine DM, right? DM and just CM. So we have to make regards to work up until we get somebody else with legs like a Wharton from Crystal Palace or um, um, from Brighton, that guy, Valiva from Brighton. One of those two is going to be coming in. If not January, then definitely next summer. But for the rest of the season, I think we've got to pivot between Casemiro and Ugarte. I would have loved to see Bruno taken off personally, not just for this match, um, because his performance was actually all right for this match, but I just think Bruno has had a disastrous season, and we need to find a way to play without Bruno. So far, what's keeping him to there are too many factors which are keeping him in the Man United team, despite the fact that I like him. I think that's another one of the factors that the fans do like him. Majority of the fans do like him. He divides opinion. I think there's a quite a big and growing segment of the fans that do not like him. I personally like him as a player. I don't like him quite as a captain. Um, but there are a few factors. And one of the key factors, on top of being Portuguese, on top of being mates with Amarin, on top of being one of our highest paid players, on top of having a glorious past, I think down the years, the last few years, 3 4 years, he's been the player that has carried us at Man United and has been our best player, has been the one who's carried Man United, has been our one bright light, bright spark, and probably our one world class player. Um, we've been given the dues both by our fans and the opposition. I remember the Bruyne talking about how he rates Bruno super highly. But yeah, apart from these factors, the other critical factor, if I was to look at it bias aside and past aside, is the fact that when Bruno does not play, Man United don't really play well. We struggle. If last season Amrin tried it in the wrong game, in my opinion, took Bruno off in the wrong game and did that losing or drawing from a winning position. So we've got to find a way. Today was a great opportunity to know Bruno. Didn't it? Um, and up front in the team, I like Cunha. He came on. So yeah, Cunha was another player who came on, like for like with Mount, as I said on the preview. I don't think Cunha and Mount are going to play many game, get many minutes, let alone games together for Man United. So Mount, sorry, Cunha had some good moments. Again, he likes to get his shot and stuff. I don't want to discourage him, and I don't want to be super critical, but the team shots is the moments, his typical moments, man, memories that reminds me of Rashford. Um, so, all right, if we go into the player ratings, because I don't think what else I can really kind of derive from today's performance. It was good. I think the highlight has to be that Man United didn't make as many mistakes. I think that's the key thing really from this match. We did not blunder. We didn't make as many mistakes. So let me go into the player ratings and I'll talk about all of them individually. Senelaman's goalkeeper, I don't think he could have wished for a better start. And the team worked well with him. Defenders worked well. The warm-up's getting a bit too warm. There it is. So, yeah, he couldn't have wished for a better start. He played well. He played well with the team. He came out commanded, commanding performance in the air. He was not weak in any aspect. And the only kind of questionable moment was when they played the ball in the second half and he came, ended up taking out one of our players. That's not the problem. The problem was he maybe misjudged that ball. It came out a second too late. He hesitated and just about kind of like clipped the Brighton player who ended up getting a yellow card for simulation. Now, I actually think that yellow card should have been given to the incident in the first half with Benjamin Sesko. That should have been a yellow card for the Brighton player, not this one. I don't think it was a penalty. I don't think it was quite a submission because actually Le Mans, who is a you know 90 kilos man, came out and did catch the penalty a bit. He made the most out of it, admittedly. So a little bit on the fence there. Not a penalty. Player has to be stronger. It was a brush, but at the same time, it was one of those. Back in the day when Cristiano Ronaldo would go down, players would be like, "Oh, get up," etc. But he's traveling at such speed, and if you get tackled at that speed, the chances are you'll fly over. Anyway, Sunderland's commanding performance, towering performance, and on his debut, a man of the match contender. I'll give him a solid 8.5 out of 10. Just what we needed as Man United fans, just what we needed as a team, uh, just what he needs as a new player coming into the team, and what the defense needed. I think, yeah, great performance on his debut. He'd do well to kind of keep that standard. Having said that, and this is not against him, but having said that, I don't think Sunderland really pressured him. Sunderland put him under too much scrutiny. I can't recall too many big saves, although when called upon, he more than matched it. Um, anyway, there's going to be tougher challenges ahead. Great to have a clean sheet on your debut at Old Trafford. What a welcome. Brilliant performance. And guess what? It was the bedrock for great defensive performance as well, which didn't have too many mistakes. One key observation about Lamens is like the likes of Delit and Shesko is big. Wouldn't say the biggest. I think he's at least 6'3", 6'4", and he's commanding. I think he's still got to fill up in terms of his frame and unit, but you can see that he's already got the frame through it, and he's going to add to that. He's already physical enough. I think that way we've done a decent scouting. We brought in keeper for the Premier League, and yeah, One of the things that I take away from his performance in particular is the fact that he, despite being so good with the ball at his feet, he didn't mess about. He didn't mess about with tippy tappy passing at the back. He got the ball and walloped it to Chesko. We've got a 6'4" goalkeeper and a 6'5" striker. There's no reason why we can't go long from time to time. There's absolutely no reason. So, top guy. And I'm sure in the first half, for example, he more than played his part in the build up for Man United in the second half. I think he judged the pace of the game, the need of the hour, and he got rid of anything that came his way. Top performance, 8.5. Man of the match contender. Um, We're going to struggle to find a better performance, to be very honest, but let's go through it. Lenny Yoro, another good performance. Um, I've seen great performances from him. It didn't need to be a great performance, as I said. Sunderland were not toothless, but they were not the most dangerous. And one of the reasons is that as a unit, we played extremely well. Letting go was part of that. Welcome back to the fore. Brought the ball back out. In the first half, he had a couple of chances where he was in the number 10 position where I would expect Mbeumo to be. Didn't quite have that finer um, a finesse maybe at the end to find the killer pass, but he gets into those positions. I don't know what defender at Man United, what centre back at Man United could do that. Maybe Luke Shaw, um, but yeah, commanding performance by Lenny Euro. Super solid, 7.5. Move on to Delete man. Where do I start with that guy? I think he's fast becoming Mr. Man United. I think he's fast becoming a contender for our captain. Maybe, um, vice captain, captain. I think Delete is the man. If he stays fit, he plays. Simple as that. Put Maguire out the side. He's basically a Maguire with mobility. Strong, commanding, hits everything in the way, takes out everyone in front of him, bullies attackers. Quite another top performance. 8. Luke Shaw, um, another super solid performance. I think playing next to Delay, we get to see we get to see the best of Luke Shaw. Kind of reminds me when he was playing next to Varane actually. Um, Luke Shaw is the top defender. If he has someone, you know, Jose Mourinho said it well, and I'm not repeating what Mourinho said, but it's food for thought because after all, he does know a thing or two about football. And I think with Luke Shaw, if he has good heads next to him, commanding players, Luke Shaw's a solid, super solid defender. Um, I'd give Luke Shaw 7.5 as well. Like we go on to the wing backs. Let's start with our right wing back, Amad Diallo. Great guy. I think he's certainly got a role to play. Very tough for me to really understand how someone like Amad Diallo fits in at right wing back. I've got to be honest, it's not the sort of that I feel like touching. Having a diminutive, you know, player who dribbles. Let's look at him. Maybe he's like a Rafael Silva, but he's left-footed and he's on the right flank, defensive right flank sometimes. But it works. It works. Um, I would personally like to see a right-sided player there and have Amma come in the second half to change the course of the game, give the tired left back something to think about. I think that's where we get the best out of him. He was all right. solid. Few moments he could and should have done better. I always think he's a slight liability defensively because he takes risks, takes chances, and if the opposition studies him very well, then they could end up targeting him as a weakness in our kind of defense. I'll give him an average 6. The other wing back, clearly our weak link today, easily our worst player, and he had one really good moment, which was the long throw. Now, this is something else about Amarim um, today and lately. What Amarim's been doing is getting Diego Dallo, uh, the throwing duties. And I do understand it because, let's face it, you're playing with Amad Diallo on the other flank. He's got no upper body strength. So Dallo's got his role and purpose there. But apart from that, I think he had a very weak second half and was quite rightly substituted. Um, his passes were wayward. He gave the ball to the opposite. I mean, one time he literally squared the ball. And there was no Man United anywhere near, no Man United players anywhere near that ball. He squared it to two, not one. He squared it to two Sunderland players. And what on earth was that rubbish? So, yeah, Diego Dallo goes down for me to a 4.5. And he gets that extra 0.5% because he's not cost us the goal. But um, it's not cost us a goal directly. The assistant, technically assistant for us that we got. But apart from that, his general play was shocking, atrocious. He needs to sort himself out. And so does Amorim. Stop playing freaking Diego Dallo on the left wing back inverted position. I mean, just to fit Dallo in. Don't get it. If he has to, play Maguire left centre back and have Luke Shaw do wing back role. Anyway, we move on. Casemiro, solid performance, Casemiro, and solid 7. The defensive midfielder position can be quite a solid, can be quite a boring role, simple role, not very glamorous. And it's one of those positions like a referee. The least you speak about him, the better he is. And Casemiro provided all of that and some more. He did join in the play in front. He did join the dots. And I think if Man United are to play well, I think Casemiro still offers us probably the best route in midfield. It's our weakest area at the moment. Well, maybe the wing backs are the weakest areas. But anyway, um, but yeah, 7 for Casemiro. The man next to him, Bruno Fernandes, had a great opportunity to score. Um, really good save from their keeper to tip it onto the woodwork. I think it was crossbar. Nice little curler tipped away, tipped over. I don't recall him giving the ball too much, and probably one of his more complete performances as a CM. He plays a little bit ahead of Casemiro, and I don't think he created enough. Um, so I dock him half a mark for that compared to Casemiro, a 6.5 for our captain. Now proceed on to the number 10s, Embuemo. Embuemo is a 7. Uh, not the most scintillating match, but with Embuemo, he, he he always looks like he's doing the right thing, isn't he? He looks for that killer pass. He's dangerous, consistent. Not his best game, but still created a magnificent opening for Mason Mount and can't be faulted. He had a couple of other chances. Um, Diego Dallo, that idiot, again, had a great chance to square it to Embuemo in the first half and chose to take a pot shot with his left foot, which went atrociously wide. But again, if those chances would come to Embuemo, you'd bank on him scoring. So, thank you um, and about his importance to this Man United team. Um, his teammate on the left hand side of the number 10 position, Mason Mount, I'll, I'll give him a half a mark more. He ended up coming to the end of the Embuemo assist and put us in front. But other than the goal, Mason Mount did. In fact, I could quite happily give him an 8. I'll give him an 8 because he's a man of the match contender as well, Mason Mount for me. He opened up the scoring. He tracked back. He was solid on the left hand side. Probably not his most preferred position, but he was our most dangerous forward. Um, really glad to have him back in the team. He's always a superb player for Chelsea. Just has to stay fit. I think he plays. And Benjamin Sesko. Ben Sesko, I'll be, I'll be, I'll be generous and give him 7.5. He anticipated, showed that killer instinct, got himself his goal. Good lad. I'd like to see him do a lot more running personally. That frame of him is to die for. I mean, physically, it's just a specimen. But he is not using his full potential. We do need him to run the channels a bit more. Um, what I'm happy with is his physical presence. He dominates the defenders. His passing's again not quite as crisp. So he's still in his bedding in period. I think what he's working on and what you can see he's clearly doing. Because why would a player like this not be running, not be powering, demanding the ball? What he is doing is working on his positioning and occupying um, other team's centre halves. So clearly a direction from Amarim. He's doing it well. Um, unlike people like Rashford in the past and Martial. So I think the team's working slightly better for the number 9 and also need a number 9 who stays in his position. So that's what Sesko's doing. Can't fault too much. 7.5 for him. Move on to Amarim. Well, I think this was probably Amarim's best score. I'll give him a solid 7. Made mistakes. Continues to have some favoritisms, like of Bruno, Diego Dallo. As I mentioned before, thinking that it's also a favourite for him, but quite rightly so. But Dallo and Bruno need to play less minutes. Um, and we need to start getting Mainu and Ugarte playing more in that midfield. Another slight criticism is he needs to adapt to styles, as well as another one of his favourites, right? Maguire. It's okay to have a game without playing Maguire. So, other than that, I think it was really good. Um, much better first half and second half would die down again. I don't know what it is, intensity or is there something in the coaching. Second half was just not good enough. Um, it wasn't even too physically demanding the first half for the second half to die down like this, like it did. But it did. So I think Cameron's got to look at that. It's far from the perfect performance, guys. It's Sunderland at home. We expect to win this. 8 times out of 10, we're winning this game, at the very least. No matter what Man United comes up. 8 times out of 10, we'll beat Sunderland. No disrespect to Sunderland. This is the Premier League. Anyone can beat anyone, but we sure can win. So that's what we're getting ahead of West Ham. However, Amram clearly is working on the players. The players are working for him. The players are saying the right things. And he's starting to eliminate the problems. One of the objections that we've had along the years and of criticism of Ten Hag, for example, was this playing from the back business. We've got people who play well from the back, but guess what? We're playing to our strengths. We've got big guys. Sam is a big guy. Delete, Euro. What a scared of the air. Sesko up front, and you've got other players who are not as big, but they're fine. Casemiro is just as good as anyone in the air. Junior. So we'll be fine. I'm not worried. It's not the prettiest to look at the moment. Who cares? It's effective. We need to win matches. We need to win matches comfortably. That's what I'm all about. So I'm rating a 7. And the fans were brilliant again. 8 out of 10. Old Trafford faithful, making the noise, showing the appreciation for the keeper. Um, great. Let's talk a little bit about the subs. Maguire came on. What do you want me to do with that? He came 5 minutes. 6. Um, Ugarte came on. Again, I didn't get to see much of Ugarte, but you know, he continued what we set out to do. So another 6. Manu, on the other hand, I think he had a brilliant slam on Manu. In the end, which didn't sort his feet out quick enough. Otherwise, he could have got an incredible individual goal. Um, I give Manu a 7. He's come on, made a difference. And, you know, he's grabbing his opportunities. Maybe there's a few players who keep on getting brought on, and he's one of those who is taking his chances. Well, taking his opportunities, not his chances, and that's pretty good. Cunha, a bit underwhelming, Cunha. As a sub, I expected a little bit more from him, but again, he went on an individual run, finished out with a team effort, 6.5 for me. I'm just wondering who else. I know we had Amron uses all 5 of his substitutes, so that's Cunha, Ugarte, Manu, Maguire. Oh, and the best one, is the left wing back, Yorgu. He um, came on for Diego Dallo. You can clearly see the difference. Again, one of the reasons that Yorgu was pushed out of the team, I believe, is his final ball, his decision making. He did everything well today up until that last third. We just didn't find that last ball, didn't find that cutting cross pass, and but a good performance nonetheless. 7, 10 out of 10. I think those were the 2 substitutes out of 5, Dorgu and Menu, who shone. And yeah, second half was not the best, but we're getting people involved. Amron said the right thing, I think, his post match interview said, identified as the same, that drop in the second half. So hopefully, he's seeing the right things and he'll correct it. Best can do the same. So this is it from me today. Pretty satisfied. Just to talk a little bit about the other teams. It's yet another defeat, back-to-back Premier League defeats in for Liverpool, and I think they also knocked in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. could be wrong, but yeah, some good times. We play Liverpool next, but I wish there was no international break to kind of like um, continue the momentum, I should say. But firstly, Man United don't continue any momentum, and um, and so I don't think it really impacts us international break or not. But Liverpool could do with a break, and I think they've got it. So big matchups uh, next time in the Premier League. Arsenal, both Arsenal and the London teams, both Arsenal, Spurs won, so that's 2 for North London, and Liverpool obviously lost to Chelsea. So all the London teams, the big London teams, all won, closed the gap at the top. Um, yeah, so very happy with that. When it rains, it pours. Sorry, Liverpool fans, but we need every bit of luck we get. But yeah, my focus is firmly on Man United, and I just hope for Ruben Amorim's sake that we continue to improve, because this match today, um, what can we take out of it? It was a solid win, very good performance by the goalkeeper. We've got a much needed clean sheet. It's the only match, I think it's the first clean sheet we've got this season. Um, and more importantly, we're starting to look a little bit more cohesive. We're starting to get the plan is effective, not really. We're more solid. We've not made many mistakes this match, but we're not as creative. I think that final ball is not good enough. The shots are not good enough. And that includes people like Shesko and Bueno. Bueno's the only one who, even Bruno, Dorgu, Dallo must improve, must improve. So we know where we're lacking. We know where we need to improve. I just hope um, Amrin can continue to bring his team up and to raise the confidence both in his squad and in our fan base. So let's watch on. Until then, wish you all a great evening. Until next time.